On the comments of my last video, you motherfuckers challenged me to make a lo-fi hybrid trap drop. And at first I was like, what the fuck? But a few seconds later, my mind just started like exploding with ideas. So without wasting any time, I opened up my FL Studio template, loaded up Serum, and started designing the bass. Because I couldn't just do an 808, like that would be fucking lame. Hybrid trap is kind of like known for mixing dubstep elements, so I kind of wanted to have a really clean bass, but it still have some sort of movement like you would have in a dubstep song. And if you're new to music production or sound design, don't even trip. I'm gonna keep this so simple. This sound is basically a sine wave and a rounded rectangle wave. I layered some high-pitched noise over it, routed all those things to this French low-pass filter to create peaks on the low end. Now this really brings out those low-end frequencies. On the effects tab, I have some compression, EQing, some subtle distortion, and just like the smallest amount of hyper. And these are the envelopes controlling everything. Then I added my bass per emitter file rack and routed it to my sidechain channel. This is exactly what I wanted, okay? Because it's a super bassy sound, but it still has that like really nice, soft high end. And I know it's just white noise, but there's just something about it that's just like so fucking fire. And on top of that, it has a really cool bounce that I was honestly not expecting. The drums are a breeze, and that's because I'm using my new pack High Energy, which I just updated with a bunch of new sounds, and it now includes some Serum presets, including the ones from this drop. I started with a super thick kick that I made specifically for this, followed by this snare, this clap, layered sound like this, and then I had some fun with the hi-hats. If you notice, some of these are not on the grid, and this creates a nice little swing. And I also changed the start time on some of them to give it a nice little groove. I put them through a high pass filter, added a panomatic to have them go side to side, and then I routed it to my reverb channel. Then of course I put a nice and lush crash on the first beat, followed by 4 on the floor rides for maximum energy. So how the f did you make that lead, Alex? So after working on my song Curfew, I kind of just discovered how a flute sound works. I started by finding a noise that was far. Then I looked for a wavetable to give it some bowdy. Put a super basic low pass filter controlled by this LFO. On the effects tab, I started by adding a multi-band compressor, some chorus and hyper, an EQ and reverb, and before all that shit, some distortion. And before that, a low pass filter so we don't feed that much high frequency into the distortion. I added a phaser with literally 5%, an effector with the lo-fi effect, which I'm automating on and off on different areas of the drop. And I removed the low end so it doesn't get all fucking tangled with the bass. As far as the writing for this melody and the bass line, it was a matter of trying a bunch of different melodies and groove until I found something that felt good. Remember, FL Studio has this cool feature where you can turn on scale highlighting, and it will highlight all the notes in one scale. Now you can put any notes you want under that scale and it will sound musically correct. Now the challenge was to make a lo-fi hybrid trap drop. And you can't have a lo-fi track without some really nice and relaxing chords. So I whipped out Flex, found this nice little sound, and I wrote these chords in E minor. Which I then routed through this EQ for that vintage feeling. So now I had all of my elements, but I still felt like something was missing, like some sort of atmosphere. I grabbed the homie KVR vocals from Threat Hybrid Bass Volume 2.
I go deep in it. I go deep space, say.
I put this EQ to make it sound vintage. I added a delay and reverb that fade in right before the drop. And I automated the volume to fade out on the space part. And finally, now it's time for us to enjoy all of these elements come together. please don't forget to hit the like button. You guys have no idea how much that one single click helps out the channel. So I'm really fucking with the idea of So I really like this idea of you guys challenging me with some weird shit. So go ahead, leave some ideas down below. Blend whatever you want. Honestly, the weirder the better. Okay, I gotta go make more beats. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you on the next shit. Peace. Hey, look, real quick. If you made it this far, to the end of the video, bam! Free sample pack. Oh, shit. You're fucking dope for staying till the end of the video. Hey, you're even doper if you turn on your notifications for my videos. And as soon as you see my shit, you immediately fucking click on it and then you fucking put the like and put the comment and shit and share it with your fucking homies and shit. All right.